Anne from Fabulous Paper Emporium. I've got an interesting card for you today. And this was my first, as you know, I've explained before, I generally do the card first, and I've done a couple of trial runs. This was probably the most successful, although I am going to tweak it a little bit for this tutorial. And because it needed something else, a little bit something extra to make it fabulous. So we are doing what I'm calling a drop panel cutout gatefold. And the cutout, obviously, is because I've used a die cut a die to cut out the word joy out of the front. So the gatefold, you end up having two parts cut out of the gatefold. I've got the word behind it, and then this panel actually drops down. So initially, I'm not going to lie, initially I actually had this panel open and I got so excited in, anticipation of making this card that I stuck the joy on that instead of the back of the drop down panel. So that's how we ended up here. However, there's another special part of this card, and the stamp and die set that I'm using are from Photoplay, the Say It With Stamps. So this is the stamp set, and you've got peace and joy, and then you've got all these other little words or sayings that combined with peace and joy will make sentences. And so I decided here, so I used the die cuts. Oh, sorry, there's something on there. So on the die cut, you have the shadow and then the word. So you've got two words, so two shadows, two words that you can cut out. So I did the black was the shadow, the silver was the word, obviously. And then I have this other amazing metal dies with the sentiment strips. And so what you can do is you stamp your sentiment, you cut it out. Obviously the dies take care of the big words. And then you can create fun cards that are, in this case, I'm just going to stand for a second so I can bring this maybe a little bit closer and you can actually see it. Because what I did regret a little bit afterwards is that the silver really doesn't show up against the busyness of the pattern paper that I chose. So this one says, "May this Christmas fill your heart with joy. May you be blessed with joy. You bring me joy. Fill your heart with joy." So that was kind of my idea behind this card. And we are going to do it again, make something very similar to this. I've changed up the paper a little bit. Of course, going back to plaid. I just can't help myself. But we're going to do the same. It's the same exact card, same cutout. So this is going to be the same. I've just tweaked it just a little bit over the many variations of this card. So we'll get started and then hopefully it'll work out. Nothing like crafting by the seat of your pants. So first things first, we are going to need a base, and doing black, but it's going to have a lot of fun colors on top. So it'll be very Christmassy. So this piece, just a regular 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. We're going to be scoring this together. After that, you are going to need, I'm just going to move some of this over because I've got lots of little pieces. So for the red, which is going to be my first layer, you are going to need three pieces that are 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. You are going to need 4 pieces. Now this is assuming that you're going to layer the outside as well as the inside panels. So for this, I only did 1 layer on the outside, nothing on the inside. This time I'm going to put a layer of red and a patterned paper on the inside and the outside. But I'll tell you what, there is a very specific way this needs to be put together, because the die will not cut through really more than 2 layers. It will do 3, but there's a lot of effort. There's a lot of potential for issues. So I would only suggest doing a maximum of 2, and then you're assured that you're going to be okay. So 4 layers of the red for the panels, the gatefold panels. And so these are 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. That's it for the red. You are also going to need some of the pattern, and you are going to need also 3 pieces of 5.5 by 5.5. You are going to need 4 pieces. Again, this is going to be layered on top for the gatefold, and or the gatefold panels, I should say. These are cut at 2.5 by 5.5. So again, if it's directional plaid, this one not so much. You're going to want to make sure that it's in portrait mode. So you have your paper in portrait, and then you're going to cut 2.5 by 5.5. And then I've got some white cardstock obviously for our sentiment. Now I cut this extra small. Normally I would cut it, if this is 5.5 by 5.5, usually this is 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. I left just a little bit more space, and you could even go smaller if you wanted to. And that way you've got more of the designer paper. This gives you a lot of space, and that's great. And I did keep some of these smaller pieces from when I was trimming this, the side panels for the gatefold panels. And I'm going to be using this. I'm not quite sure yet if I'm going to leave it at 5.5 or if I'm going to trim it down and have it just so that it meets the edge of the white. Haven't quite decided that yet on that. So that is going to be a fly by the seat of my pants. And these are only about 1/2 inch by 5.5, I think. Double check. So 1/2 inch, yep, by 5.5. So I've got 2 little strips of that. Like I said, it was leftovers, and waste not, want not. And then what I've done this time, learn from my mistake, is I've stamped on white, but then I matted it on a black. It's going to be on one of the plaid pieces, and I really wanted these to stand out. So again, wishing you nothing but joy is going to be our word. So, and then I have joy to you and yours. Fill your heart with joy. Joy to the world. I think this is going to be, oh, you know what? Because you could always do fill your heart with joy this holiday season. So I think that's how I'm going to arrange those. And you always joy this holiday season. I just was wondering where this holiday season. And then Christmas, and then Christmas joy, obviously. So those that I'm going to have before the word are probably going to be up around the top part. And then the ones that come after are going to be kind of hanging down below. So that is my plan. Okay. So I'm going to set this aside, all my pieces. We're going to get out our scoreboard and get some scoring done. Okay, so this is my 12 by 12. First score, really easy. We're just going to score it 6 inches. Like I said before, I'm just going to flip that around and get this top part. Alrighty, then we're going to turn it 90 degrees. Doesn't matter which way you do it, just so long as that you have your 6-inch score mark is now going horizontally. So now across the top, we are just simply going to score at 3 and at 9. And that's going to allow us, it's going to give us some areas to, you know, where to cut. So it's going to give us that guide. And we are done with the scoreboard. So again, if you don't have a scoreboard, no need to worry because it's easily done with a ruler. If you mark off 3 and then 9 at one end, 3 and 9 at the other end, use your ruler with your either your bone folder or a scoring tool or a pencil, then that is totally fine and it works equally as well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cut out 2 of these panels because we do not need these ones. These will be our gatefold, this will be our middle panel, and this will be our drop down. So what we're going to do is you can use your scissors, you can use a, what's it called? A paper trimmer. So we are going to we're going to cut along this bottom score line, or the middle score line, I should say. Okay. And I'm going to cut along this one. So you're really wanting to try and get that blade right in the middle of this score line. And then we are going to going to cut. I've got scoring on the brain apparently. And we're going up to meet our 6-inch score mark. Okay. We're cutting away these panels, and then there's one more little slight, and if you have a paper trimmer, great. Okay, so now you see kind of the gist of what we're trying to achieve here. And I'm going to grab my paper trimmer really quickly. And the reason why I want to do this is it will work totally fine, but right now, this panel, your drop down panel, is the same size as this panel. And when you go to fold these in after you've added layers and beautiful embellishments, this is going to get hard to fold. Your gatefold panels are going to really press along these lines, and it may start to curl over here. It may start to, your gatefold really isn't going to match up quite as well as it probably should. So what I decided to do is just trim a little bit off. You know what? I'm going to flip that over. And I'm basically trimming like a 1/16 of an inch. So barely trimming anything off. And again, the reason why I wanted to trim a little bit off is this way I'm not going to have any issues folding. So if you notice here, I have got 2 layers on here. I've got 2 layers here, 2 layers here. That all adds up, and that will give you a little bit of bulk. So if I hadn't trimmed that off, and it is barely noticeable, really, by the time like where the fold lines end, I mean, there's no issues whatsoever. Nothing is getting caught. It really is, I think, a step worth taking. So I'm just going to use my trimmer, go up to, on here you'll see that it says 6 inches. So, and you also have this line to also kind of guide you. Alrighty. And then all we're going to do, so see, it really isn't much of anything. Plus, I think my cutting abilities tonight are maybe not quite what they should be. So then we just trim that off, right? Nothing noticeable. We're going to flip it over and we're going to do this again from the other side. And just trim that. Don't want to go past that. Perfect. Oh, that didn't cut quite as well as I had intended. I'm not sure why. I'm just going to take the scissors and get that off. Okay. And then from here, whoopsie, as I throw my paper trimmer away, what we're going to do here is we're just going to fold everything in place. Okay, so score lines. So we're going to score this, just making sure that we're in the right spot. Everything is where it should be. I've covered my bone folder with all my stuff, burnish the edges, and then as we fold, I'm going to do both of them kind of at the same time. And this way, you know, hopefully if there is a way to kind of match them up, then, you know, we're doing that to the best of our abilities. Okay. Give me 1 second. This isn't quite lining up as it should. Okay. And then this side, there's a little tiny gap, and there is, there can be sometimes, and you do your best to measure and double measure and cut once, measure twice, or no, measure twice, cut once. I knew that that was right. Maybe not always the motto I follow, but I try. Okay, so there we have our base, and we're going to get the, I'm not going to say tricky, we're going to get the main part kind of done and out of the way first. And that will be getting our layers done for the 2 gatefold panels. All right, so just shake that out. We're not using the piece ones today, maybe another day. And that certainly would make a nice cutout here as well. But I like the joy, and I've obviously already stamped joy. So we're going to do joy. That is what we're doing today. We're spreading some joy. Here. Just let me, sorry, I just keep seeing that there's something that's not really lining up properly, but I think, 1 second, just, it's a nice thing with paper is that if it isn't quite lining up, then you can usually just give it a good burnish again and you'll be fine. Okay, so I'm going to grab my 4 panels that are 2.5 by 5.5. That is the design paper. And then we're also going to grab the red panels that we've made. Oh, I left one behind, I think. Nope, can't count. 2 things stuck together, that's why. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and layer this up. It'll cut through 2 layers. That is not the problem. It is when you start adding more than 2 layers. It's not that there's not enough pressure. It's this groove right here that is intended to cut the piece or cut the paper is just not deep enough. So if you want to do more than 2 layers, you're going to have to kind of break it apart and then do it in sections. You just have to make sure that you're, you know, taking your time and measuring and taping where you have to or need to ensure that your pieces don't move or wiggle. And this way you're giving yourself, you're setting yourself up for success. And so I'm just going to do 2 panels right now. Actually, I might as well do them all because I'm going to need inside and outside, and we might as well do all the layering now, and then we'll break out the big shot and we will get to doing our dies, or using our dies, I should say. Oh my goodness. I don't know what is with me today, but I cannot seem to layer this piece up to where I'm happy with it. Okay, let's give this one more try because now my glue is like, it's not gonna hold really. So add some more. We're not in a rush, so I don't want to, you know, not one to be like, okay, it's fine. I don't want fine. I want fabulous. So we are going to take our time. until we're happy and satisfied with, you know, our work. And besides, it's paper. It's paper. This is fun. It's not meant to be stressful. You're supposed to have fun. It's supposed to be relaxing and, you know, stress reliever. It's a little tiny getaway maybe from the kids or the husband or your wife, or who knows, whatever you've got going on. It's kind of nice to have a little you time, and for creative people, it makes a world of difference for sure. All right, last piece here. And then we can move on. So, before I bring out my big shot, I am just going to say it's been with me for a while, and it's been well loved, well used, and maybe not always well cared for. I'm going to cut this out first, and then you have your cutout already. So I'm only taping one side because I can't run it through the big shot. If you have a big shot, then you'll probably already know this. So if I were to run it through like this, it's going to cut joy out of these two panels, but it's also going to cut it out of this panel, and I don't want that. So first we're going to cut it out of this panel. Then we're going to transfer the washi tape to the other side, and we're going to cut out the other panel, and then we're going to do the rest of our layers. So again, I present to you my big shot. It is, as I said, I promised, I warned you, it's well used, it's well loved, and maybe a little bit abused. little bit. So here's what I'm going to want to do with my panel, right? So I put the die on the cardstock. Everything is facing down. And then we're going to just run it through our big shot. I'm going to go through one more time just to make sure, because I wasn't sure if I made it all the way through. Slide that off, and you can see it's cut through quite nicely, quite crisply. Crisp. It's crisp, nice crisp cut. Okay, before I start peeling that off, I want to make sure that I fold. I'm going to have to move this out of the way for a second just so that I can show you what I'm doing. Okay, so before I remove the washi tape off of the J side, I'm going to want to grab some more washi tape, put that down, and just tack this side in place, right? So you don't want to go around ripping your washi tape off, and I do that all the time. I take it off because I'm so excited, and then now I have to worry about getting everything aligned properly again, which for some things is not that much of a problem. For others, it becomes quite the challenge. So here is the joy side, or the Joe side cut out. So we've got this part cut out nicely. And now we're going to do the other side. So we just kind of repeat the process. I'm going to bring this back into frame. We layer that down. Sticker. I really need new plates. That just goes to show you. I think I have used this, like I said, for quite a while. Plates don't last forever because they do start obviously taking the shape. I cut out, I don't even know how many circles, and I'm pretty sure it was probably for my niece's birthday invitations or something that we were doing. So I think it was like an emoji birthday, and that's why I've got all those circles permanently imprinted on my plates. Okay, so now we don't have to worry about having to tape it back on the other side. For some reason, the washi tape is starting to stick to that. That's fine. Whatever. Just means more pieces of washi tape. All right, and then we have the oi side. So jo and oi, making joy. So we're done with that. I'm gonna scrap this piece. Don't need it. All right, so we're done with that. So now this is going to give us a guide for when we're cutting all of our other things. So for the panels that are going on this side, we can now line this up on the inside. And what I would also consider doing is using some washi tape, again, temporarily tacking, well, not to the table because I do need to flip this over. But let's see, we just want it tacked there and there. Okay, we're going to flip this over. And now we have kind of like a guide, and it'll fit right in here, and I can feel it when it grabs because you can't move it around at all. So now we're going to grab 2 more. I might just need 1 for right now. So I'm just tacking that onto the red, not touching the black at all. And when I go to move, remove the top, release the bottom, that should come out fairly easily. Oops. Make sure I don't move that too much. There. Okay, so back to sticking stuff down, making sure it just doesn't go anywhere. And now we're going to set this aside, bring back my big shot. We can send it through this way this time, that's fine. And well, maybe not so close to the compression chamber. I don't know if that's really what it's called, but there's a lot of pressure going on in there. So now we're doing 2 layers. Again, shouldn't be a problem. Sometimes you hear some creaking, snapping, and other weird sounds coming from your plates that are, you know, being compressed. And I think it's cut. I'm pretty sure we're good. So I'm gonna, oh yeah, definitely. So see, when I pull that off, I've got the, again, the J, half the O, all stuck on the inside of my little die. And I'm just gonna remove this. Doesn't matter if it's ripped. There we go. Okay. So now this part is done. When we go to line this up and lay down our put down our layer, we've got it all matched up, so we can glue that in place. There is a little bit more to obviously keep in mind when you're gluing it down, but it will look amazing. I am so excited about this. It is quite the process though, as you can tell. This actually comes off because I lost the pin that kind of keeps it on there. So, okay, so we're going to repeat this here. Again, just tack it a little bit at the top. We're going to do a little bit at the bottom. I'm going to close that and grab my die. Have that slip into place. Put this bit of washi tape there. I'm going to put some on that side too. So again, that's all nicely in place. Okay, we're going to release the washi tape from the top and the bottom. And now, and we release it. This one might be a little bit more tricky just because you don't, oh, yep, I did it. I separated the word and I didn't mean to, so I'm just going to get that back in place. Okay, that's why I said it's a little bit finicky, but that's fine. I know that the end results are going to be amazing. Okay, so let me get this back into place. You could always, if you wanted to, instead of tacking this down, you could always do it like this. Here, let me show you another way. And I think this is how I did it the first time. Because some of these pieces, like here, you don't want to tear it out. Otherwise, it's going to rip all that with it. So here's the other thing that you can do. You just tape this back into place. So I know I'm getting it as close to precise as I possibly can. Okay. So if you fold that over, put this in place. Oh man, I forgot to get a pencil again. Okay, so that's locked in. I'm gonna grab, you can grab a pen. I now only have like markers and things. So I'm going to take this marker. You don't have to like go all the way around, but you obviously need to have key points that are marked. And that way, if you lift that, and I lift that, it's going to be cut out anyways. It's going to be face down anyways. So it's not like you're marking the front side of your designer paper. And so now I can come back in and just go, okay, boop, that's where it was. So I take my washi tape and I'm going to cover that so that we can send this piece through. Just want to take those two pieces of washi tape off. This one doesn't want to release. There we go. Okay. Move that back into frame. And then flip that around. Grab my plate. All right. So I peel this off and voila. So the trickier part is getting the inside cut. Okay, so now we have the Y done. And so the trickier part is getting the inside done because obviously you're going through the black. I did try going through 3 layers and it did work okay, but there were some challenges along the way. So that will fit in nicely right there. I've got the J part over there and the outsides are going to be a whole lot easier to do because we don't have to worry about the inside and kind of getting that, you know, figured out. So when I do the outside part, let me move that so that's not in your way and hopefully you can see everything nicely. So when I do the outside, I'm going to place this back on here. You're going to lock it in. Okay, come on. You can do it. Just got to be careful. There we go. Okay, so that is where I want the panel to be. And then I'm just going to grab, again, my washi tape, stick that on, and we're going to do this panel next. Oh, right, my thingy, my handle. That happens all the time. I forget that I don't have to pull to get this done. Nope. No siree, you do not have to pull. Okay. Peel off the washi tape. Go nice and gentle. Now we have another panel done. And we have one more to do. Okay. So now we're going to do the opposite of what we just did. So I have one more panel to do, which is the right side, the oi part of joy. And I'm going to put the joy back on, locking it in on the J side. There we go. Oh, move that. That's not good. Oh, moved it again. Come on. Come on, get it together. There we go. Oh. Okay. You know what? That's bothering me. That's why. It's all up in my stuff. There. Put some of the washi tape on my hand so I have it at my disposal. Okay, so that's where that needs to go. That is where that needs to go. And then we press down, put some washi tape. No muss, no fuss. Get this last panel done. And then we're cooking with fire. Cooking with fire, cooking with grease, cooking with oil, something fried. Okay. And it's not just my brain. And I believe we are now done. Oh, except for the washi tape kind of stuck to that. Okay, so now peel the washi tape off. And we have our very last fabulous panel done. Okay, maybe overzealous with the 3 things of washi tape, which I don't think were really necessary. Not on this one. Anyways, so I will gingerly take that off, and there we go. Yay! Success! Okay. So I love when a plan comes together. All right, I'm going to set this aside. And we have our top panels, and we have our underside panels, our inside panels, and now it's just fun and assembly. I do have one more thing that I need to do though. I need to cut myself another one of these because for whatever reason, oh, I think that's where it is. Never mind. Nope. I don't know why, but I only have 2 panels for the inside and not 3 like I should. So we are going to have to pick one. And I know I've got one. I keep passing it by. There we go. So I'm going to have it all matchy-matchy. So this is more paper from this. Yep, Holiday Plaid 6x6 from Photoplay. Lovely plaid paper in there. Lovely. Because if you follow or have watched any of my tutorials, you done know that I use the heck out of that paper all the time. All the time, all the time. No, I don't need to cut it by 6. It's going to be 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. I know normally I don't do my cutting, but for some reason, I don't know. I just didn't have this piece cut. I think I was thinking of using something else because the other piece that I have over here, it's got this on one side and that on the other. I may have wanted to use that, but once I matched it with the red, it seemed too like, I don't know, just like picnicky. I don't know. I was not happy with it. So ergo, we have, okay, I did not. What on earth is going on here now? 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Oh, because it's not. It's 5.5 by 5.5. Okay. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. It's okay. It's just paper. I'm just trimming off some more so that it fits. Jeez. So I'm going to say we're starting like a major reno here starting tomorrow. And I normally try to put together probably about 3 or so videos a week from things that I find, things that I'm making. So I don't know if that will necessarily quite be the case for the next couple of weeks, but the one thing I will not miss is my Beyond the Cards. And if you haven't watched those, everything to do with like paper crafting, but not card related. So we have done boxes, we have done snowflakes and ornaments and things like that. So if you haven't checked those out, there's a playlist, there's some videos, go check them out. They are good. 'Tis the season, so they're good, they're useful, they're fun. Hopefully you enjoy them and hopefully you make stuff. And if you do, I want to see what you're making because I love to see other people's finished projects. So by all means, share it. Find us on Facebook. We're Fabulous Paper Emporium. And share your project. I would really, really love to see that. Okay, so when we go to layer our pieces, if you have glue that has this, you know, super fine precision tip, it would be really handy here because you want to get into all those nooks and crannies without running off the page like I have. Like twice, 3 times already. And that's a big gob of glue right there. Okay. And then we're going to go, I'm folding it like this so I can see better because layering against black is quite the challenge. And here we go. Okay. Alrighty, Roo. We're gonna get that in place. Make sure all of our little bits are done. Collect the glue off that. And now we're gonna do the opposite side. So this side is the oi. I'll grab my piece here and do the oi. We're going to do the same thing. Making sure we've got all those little bits. So we don't want those catching on anything or, you know, getting torn. That would not be good. That would not be fun. All right. Push those down. All right. There we have our joy part. Oh, it's coming together. Oi, oh, oi. Oh, joy, oh, bliss. And then this will go on the inside. inside and out. We are now done. Finito. Well, we're not done. We are close to being done. We are not completely done just yet. So I'm going to layer up these panels. All 3 panels need to be layered up, and I will be right back with you. Okay, so now we've got our 3 panels all layered up. We are going to place these on our card, and then we're going to start the decorating. There's one more thing that I need to die cut, and that would be the word joy. And I'm going to do that similarly to how I had, oh boy, okay, that, nope. Again, my layering today is off. I had a huge gap at the bottom, and I was not happy with that. Now it's at the top. Oh, come on. You can do it. You can do it. There we go. Okay, that's better. So the joy, you can do, I know it was a mistake when I was doing this to put the joy on the inside too, but there's nothing stopping you from doing that. I mean, it's perfectly fine. It just adds more joy to your card. Oh, that was bad. I'm sorry. So just layer up the rest of these panels, and pardon the very bad dad joke. We tell my stepson and I when my husband decides to break out a dad joke, it's usually a wah wah. So we call them, they're not bad dad jokes. He tried for a dad joke, but it was just a bad joke. So I apologize. I'm usually a little bit better with that. So next time I'll come at you with pure gold. Okay. So here we have the inside panel. Okay, so we've got, oh wow, that's a lot of plaid. But I love it. I absolutely love it. And then we're going to cut out joy. We're going to cut it out twice. So I'm going to need the word this time, and I'm also going to need the shadow. So the shadow can be, you know, whatever. The shadow could be the plaid or the red or whatever color. I think I'm going to do the shadow in black because I've used black here, and I'm going to use red for the word. Hopefully I've got a piece. What? That is good enough. And I do. So I'm going to crack out the, or break out, not crack out. Jeez. Sorry. I can only apologize so many times for the awful commentary today. Just awful. So I'm gonna, that is going to be my word, because red is the layering color. You could do it in the plaid too. There's ain't no reason why you can't do that. There isn't a reason. Okay, so I've left some of my words on my plate. That's okay. So I've got all those. Great. And then I'm going to do the shadow in black. And we're going to cut that out. Just put that in. Going through one layer is definitely far easier than going through two. There we go. Or even attempting to go through 3. Okay, there we go. So I've got my joy, the word, joy, the shadow. Now for realsies. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, big shot. So that's the shadow. These are the words. I'm going to layer that up. Okay, so there we have our joy. So nice, so pretty. And my card. So how we are going to do this is when we put this down, I wouldn't recommend going from the top and putting it, like trying to get it through the actual, like it's just not gonna, it's not gonna work. So just don't try it. I think I did try that with one and it was, well, let's just say I had glue all over the place. So no thanks. Not gonna do that again. So what I'm gonna do this time, I'm just gonna gently kind of put that down as I'm folding that in to make sure that the word is as close to perfect as possible. And there we have it. So that is what that is going to look like. And I did not make that same mistake. So I've got my fold down. Yay! Oh, glory be. Okay, so all that is done. Now it's just, you know, putting together, you know, whatever it is that you wanted to have on the card. And I think I've got to think of some embellishments to put here. And I think I'm not quite sure what I want to do. I don't know. I may come back with that. So this is that part. So actually, I think what I might do is I could leave it like this, right? And then have the drop down with all the words that I've cut out, which for some reason oh, there we go. This panel, the white panel is going to go on the bottom part. And then I think, because we could do, you know, wishing you nothing but joy. I've got it. We're going to cut out another joy. So we're going to have some words here. Christmas joy, joy to the world, joy to you and yours, fill your heart with joy. And I'm going to leave this long sentiment, wishing you nothing but joy this holiday season, for the inside. Haha. Got it. Bingo. So just apply a little bit of glue. And there's really no, there's no, you know, placement, precision, you know, anything. So you just kind of put them wherever it is that you'd like to put them. And fill your heart with joy. We have joy to you and yours. And then joy to the world. Okay, so I am going to quickly cut out another joy the same way that I have cut this one out. And I will be right back with you to show you the final project, final card. Okie dokie. So got another joy cut out. And we're placing it much like we placed the one on the drop down panel. If that's what I called that. Yeah, drop panel. Well, drop panel, drop down. That's basically what it's doing. So, yeah, well, that's fine. That's good. It's not like that's how it's going to be closing anyways. Oh, I definitely don't want that sticking there. So joy, we're going to put wishing nothing but joy this holiday season. Wishing you nothing but joy this holiday season. Such a beautiful card. Right? So now the last thing we've got to do is this panel down below. And I think I like the idea of having this go from side to side. So I'm going to lay down the white first. I want to follow the lines, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be like in the middle. So don't follow the line. And then I'm going to, if you had, I don't have any brads really close by, but I'm going to see if I have any. You could, if you wanted to, if you had like, I don't know, like a tiny brad, you could put 2 little tiny brads here, or 2 little buttons might be really cute, just to kind of add that little bit of extra. I really like that. And love using some of these extra little things, extra little pieces of paper. Might not be good for many other projects, but I like that. Love it. All right, so there is our Drop Panel Cutout Gatefold holiday card. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I certainly hope you did. And if you did, you can show that by giving me a big old thumbs up. And if you care to watch any more of my videos, and if you don't want to miss any of them, then you'll also hit the subscribe button at the, it's just there. It's just there. It's a red button, says subscribe on it. So go ahead and do that. Thumbs up, subscribe. If you've made this card, I'd really, really love to see it. So on Facebook, you can find us at Fabulous Paper Emporium. Also, don't forget to follow us there as well, because we do have sometimes announcements and fun things. But if you, and if you would like to purchase any of this product, the stamps, the dies, because I did show you the stamps, the dies, the paper is all available at fabulouspaperemporium.com. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, post them down below, and any questions, I will certainly do my best to answer them in a very timely manner. Hopefully you had a great time with us today. I sure enjoyed my time, and hopefully you have a fantastic day. Stay safe and stay well. Bye.